This is the story of the plan and what happened to it when it was put to the test.
I was a lonely little tree without a hope to grow, a broken little gardener with a lonely soul, a shovel and a pair of boots, engaging of the heart, and a painter with a microphone trying to make it art. Poor excuses, less to less fortunate problems, and a superhero on speed dial that can solve them. Awful attempts to vindicate the violated inside of the eye of hatred, listening to Iron Maiden. This is Cypher One coming to you live from SDHipHopEvents.com. Get familiar, motherfuckers.
Why Cypher One?
When I was younger, a lot of the homies around would say that I was always the first one to try to jump into the cipher or start the cipher. So Cypher One first one.
How?
Both of my parents are deceased. My dad passed when I was 10. My mom when I was 17. Different causes. My dad overdosed. My mom had cancer and fought the struggle for a long time. So shout out to breast cancer survivors for real. Or anybody struggling with it, but yeah, life for me growing up, stressful, like everybody, I guess. You know, it's always rough for kids, in my experiences. Lots of foster homes, lots of drugs around, lots of love though at the same time, you know. So it gets complicated, so if you want to go down that rabbit hole, we can.
Yeah, let's go a little bit.
I've been in 11 different foster homes. Went to my first one when I was 5. That's why I say I've lived around San Diego a lot. It's because of foster homes and shit like that. I went to my first foster home because one of my parents got arrested for selling drugs, and then that just went back and forth until I turned 18.
Okay. Were you with your parents up until 5?
Yeah, up until 5, and then on and off until I was 18.
Were they living in OB at that time?
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you keep in contact with
No,
anyone from that time?
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've tried to contact a couple people, but
Interesting.
yeah, never really washes out. I started rhyming when I was 13,
Okay.
13.
How'd that come about?
Lots of writing, you know, poetry, then lots of writing, and then teachers encouraged my writing, and then, you know, I started writing rhymes. There was a local crew actually called Shorty Busters, so it was, that's homies, shout out to Shorty Busters. I think just like every kid, the very first aspiration I had was a little bit delusion, you know, I wanted to make it big, not necessarily for cars and money and all that, well, I guess for the security that money would bring, but mostly I think I just wanted people to know me, you know. I was young. I was always the middle kid. I wasn't like the nerd or nothing. Good looking. I wasn't like the nerd or the like super geek or loner, but I also wasn't the popular kid, you know. I kind of floated. I had homies that were considered the nerds or geeks or whatever you want to call them, and then I had homies that were the jocks and the cool dudes. So
very similar.
So, I kind of just wanted to, you know, maybe stick out a little more, you know, be really dope at what I did, serve people. That was always the aspiration. Battling came in real young, so.
Yeah? Tell me about your first battle.
My first battle was a written battle in lunchroom at high school in 9th grade against Ferris Nashashibi. Shout out to Ferris.
How'd it go?
It went good. It went good. His verse, I think, might have been better than mine, but I had better inflection, and I delivered mine better, so I think I won. I won.
You won?
Yeah, I won.
Okay.
Let's keep it real.
Tell me, what's the first battle you ever saw in San Diego?
I'm going to think it was it's probably either at Hot Monkey Love Cafe or the Scene in Claremont, old school venue where they used to bring a lot of dope shows. I can't remember specifically which one it was or who was rhyming, but I know the MCs that were like around then, and I'm not trying to make nobody sound old or date nobody, but I think the MCs that were rhyming tough back then were like Orko, Mantis, you know, those crews and the people that surrounded those dudes. And, you know, I'm drawing a blank kind of right now, but Joe Haas was rhyming. I don't know if it was that long ago. Yeah, Joe Haas used to roll through that spot, I think. Just a lot of OGs now, you know, people I consider OGs, or always have, really, that I'm lucky enough to, like, you know, rub elbows with now, so that's pretty ill.
Didn't you beat all of them in battles?
You know, I'm drawing a blank.
I mean, didn't you battle Orko?
I have battled Orko, yeah.
Where was that?
It was at the Scene, one of the spots that I just mentioned. Yeah, in Claremont.
How old were you?
I was 16 years old.
And
he was a G. That was trippy because all of a sudden I'm on stage with somebody that was doing what I wanted to do, you know, like I would look up to them literally and figuratively, you know, or like I said, he's a G. So being in the front row of a lot of his shows or battles or just even like freestyles was always dope to me. And then all of a sudden, you know, all it took was to sign up. You know, that's all it takes to enter a battle usually is put your name on a piece of paper. There's not a lot of vetting. That was a dope battle. If I remember correctly, it was a dope battle.
Who won? According to the judges.
You know what? I really can't remember. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure that I think I might have got the win that day. I think, but I'm drawing a blank.
That's what I heard. Who's your favorite opponent you ever battled?
Probably Sojourn.
Yeah?
Probably.
How come?
Sojourn is shit. This is a whole nother interview, but Sojourn is dope for so many reasons, but I like battling him because he can hit you with the punchlines, but he styles it, man. You know, I like to listen to him. You know, I like to see what he's gonna say. He styles it, dude. He styles it, and he's not an MC that's gonna say like, "Fuck your mom, you're a bitch" or something like that. You know, he just that's not how his brain works. Or I'd like to think that that's not how his brain works, and he's never hit me with lines like that. Which is whatever. Those lines serve their purpose, but sometimes they're just too watered down. People say them all the time.
Yeah.
But Sojourn will just style you out, man. I've seen the guy win numerous battles without even really, you know, dropping a crazy punchline, just styling fools out. I always really admired that. And it makes it fun for me because I don't rap like that. I mean, I try to style it out sometimes, but I think I would consider my battle style maybe a little more punchline-y, or at least more punchline driven.
Okay. So he's classy with his battle. He doesn't have to hit.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, he'll chew your head. He'll go in. I'm not saying, you know, he's not soft by any means. He'll serve you up. But like I said, you know, saying that interview to Dick Ride Soldier. Shout out to Soldier.
No, you know, in San Diego, there's a lot of politics. Let me get back to the battle stuff.
Yeah, I think there's politics everywhere, probably. But yeah, I mean, you know, at SD, I think our politics hold us down a lot more than other places. But I don't know if there's any more or less politics, you know. Rappers don't like rappers, and this person wants to work with this person, but this person's busy. And these guys are putting out lists of who's dope, and these guys are saying that list is bullshit. And, you know, it goes a lot of millions of ways, but yeah, I mean, I can see how someone could say there's lots of politics here.
Okay, and you are very seasoned with navigating through them, I should say.
That's pretty well put. I like that. Yeah, I've been able to keep it pretty even keel. I think it's easy to do when you're a solo artist a lot more than when you're crewed up with people, you know, because you can't really control what somebody in your crew's gonna do.
Yeah.
I know so many people that just like can't work with other people or don't because this dude's homie is this dude's homie and he might be at the lab if we go over there. Da, you know, so yeah, I think that might even be deeper than music, you know, that's just like, it's such a localized place that people have known each other forever. So.
You've been through riffs with various people that I've seen you overcome.
Yep.
In San Diego.
Yep.
You know, what would be your advice to people who are experiencing their first riff with someone?
Y'all need to smile more. Y'all need to smile more and love more. And I know it sounds stupid and easy to do or just something dumb, but yo, you only get one little spin around this motherfucker. Why you gonna spend it like wasting your energy on somebody else, you know? Or and then half the time the people you beef with, you really, you know, it's like you got layers of it, but somewhere you like them because you only care about people so much if you at one point liked them, usually, in my experience. So go with that, man. I mean, and it's easy to say, you know, and I've been so petty in my past, you know, and I don't like that side of me, but it happens, you know. I'm not the dude that always takes the high road by any means, but yeah, man, just fucking smile more, dude, you know, kick back a little bit.
For somebody, when did Destructo Bunny come into SD?
Destructo Bunny shit came in about 6 years ago.
2007, I moved here after I came down and played on a little
Okay.
tour. I played in Ocean Beach and had the best experience of my life. I said, I'm coming
8
back.
years ago.
Eight
Yeah,
years ago.
8 years ago.
And you've been around in the scene, let's see, about 30,
Careful.
about 20 years, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
19 years, right?
So if you have such deep ties, you know, and
That makes me sound old, you know. I'm not that old. But I am, I
Seasoned.
guess. Yeah. Word, seasons, yeah. Lowry's.
Nothing wrong with that.
Lowry's.
and my question is, you've really taken to the Yoga for Your Ears camp. That's something you've really like attached yourself to a lot lately.
Yeah, it surprised me a little bit too, just because I've spent so much of my career kind of, you know, navigating, like you said, navigating the waters without really tying myself to any docks, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Seemed like the right place to park a ship for a little while, you know? I mean, we got Loch Ness, who's OB local just like me, born and raised here. We got DB, who can make a beat for me and then turn around and make a beat for Locke and then turn around and make a beat for Squad without them all sounding the same. We got rappers like Squalid the Troll that it's fucking just bananas, you know? Cats that people ain't even heard of yet that are gonna be dropping shit. The homie Stone, you know? And everybody's, you know, we're all right here. Even the ones that we got some heads that live up in NorCal, you know, or closer to NorCal or mid-California, all over, you know what I mean? And it all still feels like they're right here because we're in contact or they come down here all the time. And I guess maybe the biggest thing is DB's down to work, yeah. You know, he's down to do tracks. He's down to record. He's down to be here. Like, you know, if
He gets on stage one time at Winston's and goes, "Yo, Atlanta's rising. This is my crew." And I would back to like this. Did Cypher One just say Atlanta's rising? Is his crew? I think Cypher just said Atlanta's rising.
Did I invite myself to the party?
You chose it. You said Ocean Beach hip hop. I'm born. This is hip hop. Oh, you know, we came together for you.
So what about OB? I noticed OB has like this energy that, like many places in San Diego, have completely different energies, and it's very interesting how one not so great big place can just be so different in its little pockets.
Yeah,
but
for
what
sure.
is it
We're
about
a village,
OB?
yeah.
What does OB? What is its energy? What is its
I don't know, man.
identity?
I don't know. I could spend my whole entire music career trying to answer that question. I think it's huge, the history of OB, you know? I mean, it's a town that's at the end of the freeway, you know? My mom found OB in the 60s because she left Woodstock and just drove until the freeway ended, and it ended here, you know what I mean, at the beach. And she looked around and decided to stay, you know, and it's an old hippie town, but it's so much more than that, you know, and it's not a Santa Cruz or a Huntington Beach or something, you know, like you said, it's not even that big geographically, but we do big things here, man, you know, and I don't know. Like I said, it's a hard question to answer, but I think it's the people, you know? Even the negatives kind of make it what it is, you know what I mean? Like, even the parts I don't like kind of make it what it is. There's so many other beach towns in San Diego that when people come to do tourism here, they don't really come down here as much as, say, a PB. Definitely not like a La Jolla or something, you know? So we're not too washed out by tourism. It's the vibe, the people, you know. I feel like 80% of my town is a stoner, you know what I mean? Which I enjoy.
Stuff we
They
probably
train
everyone public
right down
doesn't
here
know
at the
about.
point. They train dolphins to find bombs.
Wow.
Yeah, right down here at the end of the point.
How does it feel to be considered like one of the top dudes in San Diego? Like of all time?
That's a huge compliment. Thank you very much. It's tricky because I guess if you put my record up, I could be considered up there. There's a lot of cats that are like way more active than me, you know? Like the last battle I think I was in was like last year, the Schoolyard Bully. Shout out to Kid Riffs. But there's a lot of cats that are super active in it right now, you know? So, I mean, if maybe you stretch the discussion out over a long period of time, they could say that, but I don't know. I can't really consider myself like, you know, like one of the top right now. I don't know. I mean, I think that I could go out and serve anybody, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not, you know, I haven't. So it's kind of hard for me to put myself in that, you know what I mean? But that's like a huge compliment. And I'm not going to take away from myself because, you know, I have won a lot of battles. And the last battle I entered, I won.
Who would you call the top battle rappers in San Diego of all time?
Of all time, Sojourn, Mantis, Orko, Joe Haas. There's going to be some people I'm forgetting. Change is dope. He served me, I think, a couple times.
Have you served him as well?
Yes. Everybody that served me, I've served, I think. If not, it was a fluke. You can take that shit to the bank.
So you've officially graduated to the level where you have served your idol.
So you've basically served all your idols. Yeah. It's dope. It's good to know. It's good for you to find out who you really are. So
I'm not trying to deny myself.
Yeah.
So a couple more battle questions, and then I'm gonna go to the show structures. How many battles have you lost, Mr. Champion?
I don't know, you know, something that I've always wished is that I kept a tally of everything, you know. Because I'd like to think that I've been in 100 battles, at least. But then that sounds so many, so I don't know if that's true, you know. I wish that But, I don't know, man. I would like to say that I've lost less than 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, I could totally be wrong, and I'm not trying to sound cocky at all. And I'm just thinking of people in my head that are like, I served that fool, that I would know would say that, but I would disagree. So, and it's different too, you know. Like I think actual form battles, like that you go to at a show or something, I think I've lost less than 10.
What about your biggest injustice of a win? Whether you won and you felt they should have, or they won and you felt you should have?
Well, I don't know. I don't know about injustice.
Opinion.
But when I was 16 or 17, it was one of my most humbling moments in hip hop. But me and Sojourn battled, and you know we were in the final round together. And I feel like they structured it to put us in the final round together. Anyways, we were in the final round together, and we did the, you know, like classic battle, and then they're like, you know, crowd, and oh, it's a tie, another round, and another round. I think we went like 4 or 5 rounds. And the prize was $500 and a trip to Vegas for 2 or something like that. You know, and Sojourn, he's a little older than me, not much older, but I believe that he had a kid at the time, and a wife, I believe. Again, I don't want to speak on anybody's personal business, but I think that's correct. And like it went, and I thought that I finally edged him out at the end. I was like, dude, I got him. And then I like hit him with this like dope punchline. I can't remember what it was, but I remember it was like my finisher. And then he blazed me, dude. He just blazed me, ran right through me. And so but it was still really close. But I remember thinking like, damn, you know, I thought I had that and I didn't. So at the end, like we shake hands and I'm like, oh man, I was like, fuck, I really thought I had that. You know, I was gonna buy a keg or said something like that. And he's like, oh, word, man, well, I get to take my lady and my baby to Vegas now. And I'm like, psh, me having a keg versus you, you know what I mean? It was an eye-opening experience for me. But yeah, that one the first time Change served me, I felt like I got robbed. That was at the Static Lounge, I think. Yeah, the judges, I felt like I got robbed because the judges told me, and yo, Change is the homie, and he served me fair and square after that, so. But I think the judges were Blame One, Joe Haas, and somebody else, maybe DJ Leviathan, maybe. I could be wrong, though, you know. But, it went to the 3rd round or whatever, and it was again, I think it was the finals. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's another thing, since you guys got me on my ego trip and shit. I usually lose in the finals.
But you've lost less than
I'm
2 times. Yeah.
just messing around. But the judges picked him, I think 2-1. And Blame like pulled me to the side and I think he told me, he was like, you didn't, it's not that he rapped better than you didn't rap up to how good you normally can do. So like I kind of served myself type of thing, you know, like we've heard you do dope and you kind of stumbled for you. And that kind of got vexed on that because I thought battle was like, you know, me versus him. Like I shouldn't have to live up to my par, personal, you know, but I was young and, you know, and whatever.
I understand that.
Shout out to Blame One. He's a fucking OG. Yo. Shout out to Blame One.
One thing you probably hear all the time in battles is white jokes.
Yeah.
What are the most common things people hit you with in battles?
Eminem, obviously. Vanilla Ice, obviously. So outdated references. Let's see. I get like incest jokes a lot. I guess I get like or inbred jokes. I don't know. Maybe it's my Cro-Magnon eyebrow. I don't know. I guess it's mostly just comparisons to other white rappers. I've gotten like Slug, you know, or like Idea.
What's going through your head when you get these kind of things over and over?
I don't know. Just it kind of shows the level of competition. It's almost like, you know, I think a battle a lot of times is won when you're not rapping. For me at least, you know, like a lot of the battle I think for me is when I'm not rapping, you know. And that's because, and I don't think you should like, if you're in a freestyle battle, you shouldn't premeditate bars. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm saying like how you listen, you know, or like, you know, or like he says that, I'm gonna touch on that. He said Vanilla Ice, I'm gonna say Vanilla Ice, motherfucker, you know, and I'm gonna bring it to your attention how dumb it is that you say that, you know what I mean? Like this guy's beating himself by saying that line almost, you know. It's like beneath me, kind of. Just lines like that in general, you know. And not me personally, it's just beneath good competition sometimes, you know. And don't get me wrong, there's some dope-ass dick jokes out there, you know. There's some dope-ass, like, I fucked your sister jokes out there, but nobody delivers them right. Not nobody, but takes a special kind of delivery to make something like that cool, you know. It's like in classic comedy writing, like, people still make fart jokes. You just gotta reinvent the fart joke, you know? People don't do that. They just use the same shit over and over.
What's your favorite? Do you prefer to battle with a beat or without one, or do you not care?
I prefer to battle with a beat. I prefer freestyle battle. I prefer freestyle battling to a beat of the DJ's choice.
Okay. Who do you think's done the most for paving a way for battle rappers in the name of San Diego outside of the city?
I don't know. I don't know. That's tricky. One thing about San Diego is a lot of people don't get out of here. I would say with the fame of like. With the fame of all the acapella written battles that they do, specifying the fact that they're written battles, and like the grind time leagues and such like that, King of the Dot I think is another one. I would say with all that, if you want to go out of town exposure for SD heads, the homie Scatterbrain, shout out to Scatterbrain, probably is the one that I've seen on the radar the most. You know, as far as because those things are tricky because you go to them and then. It's definitely about the battle, but it's also about the YouTube video almost so much more, you know. And then depending on how many YouTube views it gets or however much you hear about it is kind of how I would judge the popularity, you know. But I think it should more so be judged on the content of what's in the video, you know. And for that, it's by far Scatterbrain for sure.
You battled in 05 with Z90.
It was in San Diego it was over a 5-week period at 5 different venues, I think, and you had to win.
How'd you enter into that? Just.
I sent them. I think you had to send them a 16 or maybe a song. And then they entered, and I got signed up, and.
You won 5K.
And I won 5 Gs. Yeah, shout out to Z90 for giving me 5 Gs, motherfuckers. What's my studio time?
Were they supposed to give you studio time?
They were supposed to give me a couple hours or 5 hours or something back in the day. It never came through. But.
Now you can pay me. Tell
pay DB.
That's funny. What'd you do with the loot?
Cashed the check at Money Tree like a scumbag. Bought a keg first thing. Bought a whip the next day. Lots of chronic, you know. Blew it. Mostly just blew it. I paid rent for 2 months. You know, I was living in a pretty dope spot up on the hill. with the gang. I had a gang of roommates too, so I went, you know, let's go fucking, who needs a new hoodie? Stupid shit like that, you know.
That's cool though.
Yeah, it was dope. I mean, you know, I've always grown up, you know, broke, you know, basically poor, you know, or whatever money I had, I had to make, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I made, even though I like did a lot of work for it, I guess, it never feels like work when you're doing it, you know? So it was kind of like, you know, just one day a check came for 5 Gs. Like, yeah, I won the battle and I was stoked, you know, but I mean, like, you kind of, it doesn't hit you till you get the money. They're like, whoa, I did this for this, you know, because I didn't do it for that. I mean, ultimately, I guess I did, obviously, but, you know, it's just what you love to fucking do so much. And then it's like almost enough just to like know that you served all this whole group of people. There's like, you know, an X amount of dudes standing there and none of them can beat you in a battle. You know, that's some alpha male shit right there. That's going to get anybody going, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Worst show experience you've ever witnessed or been a part of? Worst thing and why it was terrible. This is kind of like a cautionary tale.
The worst thing I witnessed was just recently my boy Emphasize and my boy Kaz and my boy Inform fucking paid to play, sold like fucking 50 tickets and then didn't even get to fucking rap at the Jizza show. That was bullshit, y'all. That was bullshit. Y'all shouldn't have done that shit. It's not right. That's janky promotion, right?
Who's your favorite promoter? You know.
Destructo Bunny.
Yeah.
Destructo Bunny.
Why?
Yeah, because he puts me on. Because he's got a show, I'm on it. Nah, I love Destructo Bunny because he's one of those promoters that does try to bring people that wouldn't normally be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and like obviously, you know, promoters like in San Diego, promoters go to is like an AWOL 1 or a 2Max or a Grouch and Eli, you know. And that's like a San Diego promoter's wet dream for some reason, probably because they're pretty close and, you know. And he's done all those shows, but he's also done the, you know, KRS-One. Like, when are you going to see KRS-One, you know, down here? And, you know, it's just, it's about, you know, he throws shows in my backyard for the most part, you know.
Have you ever been paid to perform?
Yeah.
In San Diego?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, multiple times.
Okay. Talk about
You hear that, promoters? Some promoters do pay the rappers. Crazy. I dropped an album called Self Blend when I was 21. I don't want to say but, it's an album. It was a collection of songs that I did when I was younger, and it was the kind of album that I racked like a CD printer from Staples and, you know, like printed a bunch of CDs in my room and shit. So it was a CDR album for sure.
Okay. Why so long? Why so much, ability?
I have sorry, I didn't mean to cut your question off, but
We want to hear you.
I've done so many tracks and so many songs just with random people, you know, like features or just doing tracks with the homies. And I freestyle so much. I love the art of freestyle so much and battle a lot. That it just, I don't know, I have so many songs written. It's just it's always been a matter for me of getting them in a like a linear type of space, you know. I have so much sporadic shit going on that it never feels like a cognitive thought, which I always want an album to be, you know. My favorite albums that I can think of are like kind of all kinds of moods, definitely, but like like a ship on the ocean as opposed to like a car in traffic, you know, like if it's like got a flow to it more, you know, as opposed to let's go this way, then let's go this way. That's like, you know, it's more like we'll go all those places, but we can just get them on a nice, you know, even type of keel. So I think that, you know.
Okay. You have any features on the album?
I do. I got a feature by A-Bomb. Shout out to A-Bomb. I got a feature by Squalid the Trumps. Shout out to Squalid. And if the little bastard plays his cards right, I might have a feature by A-Lo as well. And then I got the whole album features Destructo Bunny. All beats by Destructo Bunny. All production by Destructo Bunny.
Deodora is the female voice.
Deodora, yeah. You want to shoot the camera on her real quick? Deodora's rocking the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's rocking the hook on the Squaw song.
Yep.
Who's singing on the, what is it?
King
Oh,
motherfucking Doja.
King Doja. Yeah. That's the homie King. Damn, see? I need to listen to the album more.
What is the album called?
We have a working title right now.
Oh.
The working title is Eating Lunch Alone.
Aw.
The Ballads of Steven Glansberg. But we'll see. Shout out to DJ Unite. Shout out to Artistic. Shout out to my AR fam, Atlantis Rising. The Move Upment. Shout out to Yoga for Your Ears. Shout out to the homie Banks One. Shout out to the Too Sick crew. Shit, man. There's so many people to name. Shout out to my sister Bina. You made me who I am. Shout out to my queen. Shout out to all the people that I love, the people that love me. Shout out to the haters. Shout out to Karen, great interview. Shout out to Mr. Ridley. Shout out to Kaz. God, I'm forgetting so many people. Shout out to Edgar Israel. That motherfucker's hot on production. Go get a beat from him. Shout out to Ethics. That motherfucker is hot on production. Shout out to his lady and little baby Tallulah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Shout out to yourself, world. Go out there and smile a little more.
I'm just cheesing. Why you beefing? Why you beefing with me?
I'm about to record a verse if you want to get that. Yeah. Slowly slipping, but I hold my diction. Reality instantly grows to fiction. Putting up this mask is my soul's decision. Tired of shoveling holes in this prison. Cold as the winter that never really ends. 3 months in, and I've lost 4 friends. I will try to pull the chaos in from outer edges. Try to rewind the ties that bind friendship. Try to disguise my eyes from expressing the feeling of really feeling empty. In front of the liar is where the pulpit sits. How can I be empty if I'm full of shit? How can I be open when I'm folded in? It's like I fell and I'll never grab hold again. The tendency is to hold it in. Instead I hold my pen, let it go and expose my soul within. And if I hold my chin high enough to keep the tide from rolling in, then I know that when my hand has to fold again, I'll walk away from the table a much older man. But the years will be bored on my heart and mind, and I'll try to devise a better plan next time.
What, so I gotta sit here and eat dessert alone like a fucking Steven Glansberg?
Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to do?
Nothing. It's fine.
Relax, man. I'll see you later.
It's fine. I'll be fine.
It is imperative, for we all live and we all die. The plans we make in life are tested after death.